and my big mouth.
The wacky world of MultimediaJay.
So tomorrow's the first of the month, so I figured I'd go take care of whatever grocery stuff needed to be taken care of before the first of the month folks show up and start doing their thing. So I figured I'd pick up a few things on the side. A few things. First order of business, another one of those mildew-resistant shower liners because I cut the last one too short. Whoops, that'll be a couple $1 mistake right there. Anyways, we'll deal with that later. Also, I finally decided to check out some of these great value LED bulbs that I've been seeing all these nice things about, and see if I can retire some, if not all, of the CF bulbs that are still in use in this place. So first order of business, I was a little bit confused when I was looking around on Walmart.com earlier at these great value daylight LED bulbs, wondering why there were multiple wattages for the same watt equivalent and why there was multiple pricing. It looks like there's multiple generations, and what the warehouse sends the store depends on what exactly is going on when the order is picked. There are actually two different types of these bulbs being sold under the same SKU, with the same the same everything, you know, space in the store, the whole 9 yards. So I basically tried to buy the ones that were all the same. Beginning with these, I bought this one and then this inner of 4 because they were doing a little bit of Target mathematics, as I call them, because I've seen Target do this so many times, where people think they're getting a deal when they're buying in bulk when actually the opposite is true. Those per bulb cost more than these, even though they're the exact same SKU. So I basically got all 75 watt equivalent 11 watt bulbs daylight. And I basically took the one remaining inner of them, the one remaining each, grabbed this, and then everything that was left there was, I think, previous generation because the others were all 13.5 watts. Literally every single other one they had stocked in this location under this SKU for this price was 13.5 watts instead of 11. Interesting. There's also other differences that reference multiple generations of these things, like do they last 9 years, do they last 18 years, etc., and things along those lines. There is a new generation of these out right now that actually does 75 watt equivalent with only 9 watts instead of 11, but it's $3.50 a bulb. There's where the expensive LED pricing is. So I think I cleaned out the previous generation, and then the generation before that is now sitting on the shelf waiting for someone to buy, but it's going to be a slow mover because soft white bulbs move faster than daylight bulbs and are put on sale more often, and so the vicious cycle continues. These still are less expensive per bulb, at least these are, than the CFs were. These, not so much. I took a bath on these, but either way. A quick look around the UPCs verifies that these individual ones are the same product as these that I took a bath on with the Target mathematics. Check it out. GVA 7550 NDE, GVA 7550 NDE 4 for a 4-pack. In terms of the not for use and enclosed fixtures doohickey, enclosed fixture required for outdoor use. There's my cue right there, even though it's not explicit on the bulb. Also, suitable for use in damp locations, so the bathroom's eligible for something like this. Let's use the work light to compare the brightness between the two, even though you're not going to see it on camera because the camera auto-adjusts to keep the picture nice. So, that's the GE. It's 75 watt equivalent, so I borderline can't look at it because of how bright it is. Obviously, it's not a smart move. Let's put the Walmart one in there. And that's only 75 watt? Are you kidding me? Excuse me, 75 watt equivalent. Wow, no, these are brighter than the GEs. Turn that off. This technology has come quite a ways. So here's the one I normally use in that. Here's the one well, yeah, it is brighter because 920 lumens from the 75 watt on that sucker versus 1150 lumens. So what's the watt difference too? Those are 11 watt and this old one was 11 watts. So, progression with the technology. This is an actual so-called real brand. It heats up quite a bit on the metal over here. Cannot be used in an enclosed fixture, which is why I'm using it, which is why I use these torch lights in the first place. It's one of the big ways I was able to actually use LED lighting over here because they're open fixtures, so to speak, not like the boob lights or anything. But wow, this technology keeps progressing. And that is why I want to retire CF bulbs, because it's not so much, well, I don't really need them anymore. I don't need the issues with hazardous materials if they break. I also think that, much like with solid-state drives, I'm probably going to slowly amass a collection of these because of how long they last, or they might discolor or something like that. So I gotta keep my, keep an open mind as to replacing these due to generational improvements in the technology. But the main reason why I picked these up was actually to replace the daylight CFs that are in some of the ceiling fixtures. There are some fixtures that have soft white LED already with these great value bulbs, but basically everywhere that I want to have some daylight going and stuff like that, instead of soft white, we'll just we'll get these swapped in and we'll be CF free. Still though, Walmart of all companies, spearheading the adoption of this technology. Who would have thought this would happen? Well, I guess there's money in it for them, if not directly through consumers and through the Energize CT subsidies and stuff like that. But seriously, solid state lighting in 3, 2, 1. Yay! And it gets right up to full brightness, right at the start. You can't see it on camera, of course, but there's no more warm-up period. I'm also taking the liberties to clean out the glass and stuff like that as well. Another thing I can do is take the old CFs, put them inside the new LED things box. They won't fit perfectly, of course, but this will, of course, make them a little more rectangular so I can, have them laying in the cabinet without them rolling all over the place. Main area. Ugh, this one's ugly. Check out that burned-on cellophane or discolored cellophane tape on that one. I also don't like what some of these wires look like, particularly the return path wires coming out of the sockets. That tells me that these probably date back to the incandescent light days and they were irresponsible tenants in here who were exceeding the maximum wattages. Glad to fix that at the very least. There we go. Now about that whole previous tenant's sarcasm earlier, yeah, I can tell from this guy's choice of fixtures that he usually rents these places to deadbeats, and I've been a welcome exception. Woohoo! And there was light, as well as a freshly cleaned enclosure, well, cover thingy, whatever they're called. Okay, the main hallway over by the furnace. For some reason I think Review Tech USA fans will really like this one. Can't possibly imagine why. Another 26 watt one that's getting swapped out for something that doesn't draw as much power. The interesting thing is that I know all of these daylight CFs are from previous tenants because I never even knew there were daylight CFs until I came out here and saw them in the in the light fixtures when I arrived. I always thought daylight was just some kind of neat thing that you could do with LEDs, and that the CF bulbs weren't even doing that stuff. Boy, was I wrong. Either way, though, it's good to finally get these things out and go solid state with everything, now that there are LED bulbs that can actually handle enclosed fixtures. Woohoo! Another warm-up time eliminated. The ones in the 4-pack are a slightly different shape than the ones I just finished working with. Same specifications, though. Let's pick where we want these to go in. After giving it some thought, I decided that the last 4 bulbs are going to go in the bedroom and the bathroom because they already have soft white alternatives available if I need that lighting for something more important in the bedroom when you're trying to, wind down at night and stuff like that. And they don't have a daylight option. The other big thing with the bedroom is that this liberates these GE LED 1100 lumen soft whites from the ceiling fixture, which were not suitable for use in an enclosed fixture, so I barely had the light on because I didn't want these things to overheat. They've now been liberated, and now they can be put in a torch lamp where they probably should have been in the first place. These are actually the soft white counterparts of what I'm installing here that I'm replacing here in the bathroom. The previous tenant was beginning to experiment with LED bulbs, unless the landlord just put these in, I don't know, but I'm guessing these are first generation and they're older and whatnot versus what I'm putting in, so who cares? Anyways. Oh boy, this fixture took some burn damage during the incandescent days as well. Ha, renters. Wattage ratings be darned. They were on sale, so I bought them. Let's see what this looks like before we go putting the globe back on. Oh yeah, there we go. Daylight! So this leaves the kitchen as the final holdout for soft white lighting, and the cellar as the final holdout for CFs. Do I dare? Yes, I do. There, this ugly place will be a good spot for the remaining soft whites to rot out in the last of their useful days. The biggest bulb was down here. Alright, Liberty is sweet! Woohoo! So here's the rest of the bulb surplus. I've got 9.5 watt and 10.5 watt bulbs. Wonder where I could use these things. Ladies and gentlemen, the latest attempt to replace the aging Dream Machine clock radio in the bedroom with something that fits the 5S theme a little bit better. It's black and blue. It has a smart set time, date, and DST, dual radio buzzer alarms. Hopefully the buzzer alarm is actually loud, unlike the other ones we've messed with up to this point. Bluetooth, FM radio, USB charging, that'll be cool for the phone at least, and a nightlight. Let's check it out. Hey, this looks interesting. Started it up and it set itself. Boom, year, boom, day, boom, time. Nice stuff. It also, well, it does have Bluetooth, some other things. It also takes a CR2032 watch battery for its battery backup instead of something bigger like a 9-volt or something along those lines. So you got things on top for playing, pausing, using as a Bluetooth speaker. It can play stuff from your phone. What's this? Oh, it's got a little light in the back too. Ooh, yeah. It's got a nice blue light in the back as well, so you can really light things up. See, 5-volt, 1.5 amp to charge things to auxiliary, so it takes things through a mini jack. There's where the battery goes. Big speaker in the back, because this thing also can function as a Bluetooth speaker. Little dimmer doohickey to change how bright it is. And less than a watt. Let's turn on something here. Now it's in Bluetooth mode. Can I turn it on again? It has a power button, and it has a source button. First ever clock radio with sources. Now it's on the radio. Push the button, auxiliary, so it'll take stuff in through the minis that way, and then Bluetooth to play out of whatever it can pair up to. Use as a Bluetooth speaker. Woo! Yeah. And then there's the radio. U09. Oh, that's the volume. Okay, tune. Sounds about right for the FM band around here. I think it's got a little bit of volume to it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it is using the same speaker as the radio. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. We have it! Our new 5S alarm clock, and it even has an alarm that gradually gets bigger, so you don't wake up the whole house when it starts beep, 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 beep. I don't get it, though. Just gotta remember to crank the volume on the speaker. See, that's probably what the difference is. I'm used to, you know, like the Sony Dream Machines and stuff that use different speakers for the alarm than it did for the radio. So you could keep the radio at a moderate volume, but the alarm would always be loud. But the number one problem that I've had with clock radios of all time is when the piezo whatever it is, little thing that does the alarm, breaks, but the regular speaker doesn't. I've slept through classes, I've almost been late to work, and then when I tested the alarm, I found out the hard way that it was intermittent, because sometimes it would work and it would go beep, 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 and then there'd be times when I would test it and it would just tick, and it wouldn't make any noise, because what the alarm was running off of had blown or had gone intermittent. In this case, since it's all going out the same speaker, so long as I remember to keep the volume at a decent level, like keep it cranked on this, and then control the volume with my Bluetooth device instead of the other way around, then I can know if the speaker for the radio or the Bluetooth ever blows in this thing, I need to solder in a new one in order for the alarm clock to work, and I won't have any of these kinds of surprises. Plus the black and blue theme to match the blue and black attack. Yeah, it's got some silver on top, but it's pretty decent. Still fits the theme better than the cube over there. And this thing actually makes noise with its alarm. And on that note, this yellowed old saddled thing can finally be retired. I also have an even older version of this that's black and red. This one was this was originally white and green, but as you can see over the years, of course, the chemical reactions happened in the plastic and it started yellowing, and it's just, I don't know, I don't think this will clean off. Could try. You could try, but it's, I think it will, but it's just an off color nowadays. This probably will clean up and still look somewhat okay, but the plastic is kind of yellowing. It's not solid white anymore like it used to be, but either way, 1.5 watts. Almost 2 watts for a decent alarm clock. This was a really good design, except that it takes a full 9 volt for the battery back. Ooh, here's where you can see all the yellowing. Look at this. Yep, there it is. Yep, and need a 9 volt for the battery backup and stuff like that. Sad, really. Sony Dream Machine was pretty decent, and somehow Sony went from this to this. Well, at least the radio's good in this thing. But for Pete's sake, it's like a clock radio version of an Ouya, right down to the shape. Alright, let's see how it works as a Bluetooth speaker. That sounds pretty decent. As high as it goes. Good. So now I just use the phone's volume control to make it shut up. Good stuff. Good, good, good. And when you disconnect, it does have some nice noise to it. Whoop, whoop. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. The fun part, however, about the Bluetooth capabilities of this clock radio is that it makes this thing no longer necessary in the bedroom. So I was doing the whole bedroom speaker thing and stuff like that. Well, this thing is now freed up to go somewhere else as well. Yeah, I gotta do some more cleaning of some of the random odds and ends I have around the computer cart that I'm using as a nightstand. Yeah, I know. Nerd! That's a lot of cabinet space that I'll be freeing up if I can finally get rid of all these CFs once and for all. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about this thing. Probably because it's a mistake and I had to buy a second one. No matter, we won't spend too much time on this. So last time I cut this thing too short. So it's not really doing its job at all, as opposed to doing its job too much when it was bunching up and causing issues with humidity and mildew and stuff. So I've got this new one right here. Now, I'm going to unfold this without actually unfolding it. So if all the holes are here, I'm going to go all the way to the other ends. That way you just snip at once based on the folds. I was correct on the length. Just enough to go past where the, past the top of the tub, so it won't bunch up at the bottom and become a humidity trap. Also, it was so easy to replace by just opening these hooks, because these are not spring-loaded hooks. So you can actually move them around while they're open, and they'll still function while they're open. Closing them is kind of a formality at this point. Closing them is really more of a formality than anything else. And yeah, just little hooks for when it's closed, and voila. I'll finish the rest of those off camera. 5S bathroom, baby! That's what this is all about. Creating order from chaos. Things are already getting easier. It's not just about cleaning things either, it's about designing things so you do less cleaning. If you had the choice, for example, between constantly having to paint a fence over and over again, or finding a way to not have to paint the fence, which would you go for? Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.
Want to support the wackiness? Visit patreon.com/multimediajay.